Sat down to write a song. I got the words all wrong. Don't know what to say today. Skilly dot dot ray.
Dance Attic pairs upbeat rhythms with a sense of fun. Oil painter Patricia Canelake infuses meaning into the medium.
I'm very much into the figure, to the human being, and the animals are a little bit human for me too.
I wanted a dialogue so that the viewer could make their own interpretation.
And photographer Tim White sparks conversation with collaboration. Stay tuned. The playlist is next.
What a lovely time it will be. Cha-cha-cha.
Funding for The Playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
We're Dance Attic. We're all the way from Duluth, Minnesota. It's good to be in Duluth. This is a little song we wrote. It's called Ain't Gonna, Don't Wanna. Since I've been seeing you, the whole world seems to be brand new. Feet hardly touch the ground every time you come around. I'm happy as a fool now that I've been loving you. I don't wanna, ain't gonna be without you. Keep telling me I'm lucky as a guy can be. Feel like a lucky charm when I hold you in my arms. Life was a mystery till I found that you're for me. I don't wanna, ain't gonna be without you. I ain't gonna, don't wanna be without you. Before I met you, love got pushed around, knocked to the ground. Life seemed to be so unfair. No girl would treat me right, night after night, just crying fight, and things would go nowhere. Hey! But now I'm feeling fine, hold you, babe, and share the wine. You mean the world to me, and I'm lucky as a guy can be. We always get along, and so I wrote this little song. I don't wanna, ain't gonna be without you, no way. I ain't gonna, don't wanna be without you. Here we go now. Since I've been seeing you, the whole world seems to be brand new. Feet hardly touch the ground every time you come around. I'm happy as a fool now that I've been loving you. I don't wanna, ain't gonna be without you, no way. I ain't gonna, don't wanna be without you. Take it out now. All right.
This is my first dog I ever had, and I just found this in a drawer lately, and this little dog has shown up in my paintings because it's such an odd photo. And I'm looking at the look of the dog, the eyes, there's snowflakes coming down, the gesture, I like shadows, And I've always liked spotted animals, horses and dogs. So this dog's showing up in my paintings. I'm looking for the gesture, expression. I don't want anything to look like a snapshot. I want it to be artful and very intriguing in some way. I've studied a lot of photographers, and so I'm very interested in street photography and the decisive moment when somebody does something or gestures a certain way. My name is Patricia Canelake. I'm an oil painter, and I also do printmaking and chocolates. The artistry of chocolate is it has to look very lush and shiny, and it has to be tempered. So we want a certain swirl on them. The turtles are one of our best, most liked chocolate here. And we just try to get it just right, just like my grandfather and my father did. So. Everything's kind of a labor of love. And with that special swirl, the visual part is always considered, and then of course they're delicious. And if it doesn't look good, it just doesn't fly. So any kind of major thing that I'm involved with, I think it's the medium itself, the lushness, the shine, the look, the properties that are really pushing me along. The oils seem real to me. They're the real thing. It's something that will dry eventually. I can still move it around. I can add more medium and float another color on top of another surface. I have some deep dark areas. I have some thick lush areas, and I have some transparent areas. I also have some drips. There's no rules, I don't think, that say, you know, I'm going to make a lush painting and the whole thing's going to be lush. I put lush paint in areas that I want to, and other areas might look dry or thin, but that's purposeful. I'm doing that on purpose, and I have to kind of always think about that. People think I'm a messy painter, but I'm actually kind of clean, despite my hands. So I'm very picky about the color and how it's on there, even though people would look at the painting and maybe think otherwise, like I'm just doing this. I'm not really. I'm thinking very carefully about every stroke and every placement of the paint from the brush to the canvas. And I have a love for contrasting colors, so that within a painting I like a bright white, a deep dark tone, and then a very bright. So whatever color mode I'm in, I paint that way. When I get new paint, I'm a happy camper. So this is one of my new favorites. That's a manganese blue. I'll squeeze every bit out of there, and I'll just, if I want a feel-good day, I'll order paints. I have a very big fondness for line and drawing. So a lot of my paintings, you'll see a line drawing in there, basically. And it's not that I make a line drawing and then paint around it. It's just that the line is always there for me. So you'll see a line coming from a dog to a horse, or a figure pulling or pushing something. And that's what I finally figured out late in my career, that's been my overall theme, is this kind of push and pull lines between objects and subjects. And it's just a connecting device, but it works in a very simple way to create meaning. I have my exuberant side and I have my introverted side, and I think it shows up in many ways in the paintings. I'm very much into the figure, to the human being, and the animals are a little bit human for me too. Really, art is who you are and how you think and what you see, and I guess that's a Canelake right there.
We're at the Duluth Art Institute with Tim White, art instigator and the brainchild behind In and Out of Context. Thank you, Tim, for the tour.
Not at all.
How did this whole project start? As a photography exercise, or because it involves writers as well as photography?
I wanted to put a punctuation mark on my older work and start new up here. I'm fairly recently arrived, so. And I began thinking book, but I didn't want to do a vanity project, just something we all looked at and contemplated. I wanted it to involve the people I'd met here. I didn't want the poetry to foreclose the meaning of the image, and I didn't want the image to describe the poetry. I wanted a dialogue so that the viewer could make their own interpretation. And that's a lot of what my work is about, is reception more than pronouncement.
So you happened to pick Jim Johnson to go with this image. Do you want to read the poem for us?
I could. It's from A Field Guide to Blueberries. But you did not want to be the wife of an old man. You wept. All around you was a swamp. And it's from a verse called And the Pines Grow Old as the Sky.
And tell me more about the image. You know, how did you know that this was one that you wanted to pick for this exhibit?
This was the partner I lost. And I liked its abstract quality. It's hard for people to figure out what it is. This is a teddy bear. The image was shot vertically as I just rolled over. But when you turn an image, it disorients a bit. And I enjoyed that confusion.
When did you kind of have that epiphany that there are artists and writers here that are kind of messing with the same ideas?
Just being immersed in the culture, being at concerts, being at readings, hearing that oscillation, standing before that giant piece of water and watching it do what it does. It wasn't epiphanic. It was more just a slow growing realization.
Did you get to go through just work that inspired you, or how did that relationship develop?
I thought starting by asking poets to do something ekphrastic that related to the work. The rest, I maybe imposed a little more structure. As you winnow down to how many choices are left, you see that you have to shape it a little more.
So read Linda's piece.
Where spirits tread so lightly that their feet, transparent as the air, make no more mark on the ground than the air itself. Blah.
So similar in some ways image, but has a different power.
It's actually from the same day when the light just shifted enough and the rocks became water and the water became rock. And I was just drawn to that. It says, you're just under the surface of my restless sleep. I hear your ardent whispers in these howling winds that blow in my ears, tell me stories I cannot repeat.
This is actually a book, not just a exhibit.
It is a book.
Tell me about what that feels like to have a book launched out in the world and where people can find it.
The initial grant was written to gift the book to libraries, museums, galleries, institutions. So we did a limited edition of 25 hard copy, hand bound by John Hinkle. Here it is, kind of a wreck. It's a gallery copy, but that's what we did.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I look forward to
Not
the
at all.
next one.
Well, thanks. Cool.
This is a song called The Cabin Song. Pack your things, let's get out the door. We're off to the cabin on the South Shore. We'll hit the trail and before too long arrive at the cabin and sing our song. Now sing the cabin song. we're at the cabin, we can't go wrong. Life is so easy with you out there. We're having a great time at the cabin with you. At the cabin with me. At the cabin we sing. What a lovely time it will be. Walk the beach on Superior Shore, soak up the sun and hear the waves roar. Forget the clock, there's no schedule here. Just light the candles when evening's near. Now sing the cabin song. When we're at the cabin, we can't go wrong. Life is so easy with you out there. We're having a great time at the cabin with you. At the cabin with me. At the cabin we sing. What a lovely time it will be, yeah. Cares and worries, breathe the fresh air. We'll count the stars and waltz to the wind. We've got the weekend and lots of time. Enjoy the moment, it's so sublime. Now sing the cabin song. When we're at the cabin, we can't go wrong. Life is so easy with you out there. We're having a good time at the cabin with you. At the cabin with me. At the cabin we sing. What a lovely time it will be, yeah. At the cabin with you. At the cabin with me. At the cabin we sing. What a lovely time it will be, yeah. At the cabin with you. At the cabin with me. At the cabin we sing. What a lovely time it will be. What a lovely time it will be. Cha-cha-cha. All right, that's the cabin song.
Dance Attic, welcome to the playlist. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
First question, tell me how Dance Attic, the name, came to be.
You want to field this one?
Sure. Well, Jimmy and I had been taking dance class lessons and we needed a place to practice, so we cleared a space in the upper level of my barn at home. And so we've been practicing dancing up there, and my daughter's boyfriend noticed this fact and thought, you guys should be a band and call it Dance Attic. And so the name was born.
Yep, perfectly made sense.
And how did the actual band start, though, as far as what kind of music do we want to play?
Well, I guess it kind of started when we were hanging out at the cabin. Susie's got a cabin and we went there, and there's no electric, so we just, she has an accordion that lives there, and I brought a guitar, and we, she hadn't played accordion for me yet, and out there she started playing it, and she's kind of feeling a little rusty at it, but I could tell it's like, wow, that sounds so awesome, So I thought, well, let's just play music, if you're, she's a little frustrated with not having her accordion chops up, and we just started initially having, just bringing some lyric sheets and singing old favorites and stuff, but pretty soon we're both real detail-minded, and we started, well, let's have an intro like this and an outro like that, and then, oh, why don't we start writing our own stuff, and it just evolved from there.
So tell me about your songwriting. How does a song roll out once it begins to form for you, or maybe you?
It's kind of like a lightning bolt, I guess. I don't know. Usually the best ones come very quickly. I actually wrote a song today, and it came very quickly. I literally dreamt one a while ago. We must have been listening to polkas or something that day, and I crashed out, and I was starting to go into that sleeping thing, and I heard this melody kind of going around in my head, and I was like, And I realized it was not a song that I had heard before, so I grabbed my iPhone and I kind of la, la, da, 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 sang it into the iPhone, put it away. Woke up the next morning and I finished writing it. So.
And the two of you together, though, do you kind of play it back and forth and kind of knock the rough edges off, or how does the evolution happen for you?
A little bit. A lot of songs Jimmy writes just like that. Like he said, he's so fast. And some we've kind of worked on together and evolved together. And like Jimmy will put some of the chords together and we'll work on melodies and arrangements together. So we kind of do it several different ways.
Yeah, I mean, she comes up with all her own parts on her own. I don't usually dictate. Unless I have a real strong melodic idea, I don't tell her anything about what to play. Because I don't know how to play all this, all those buttons. How do you do that?
How do you do that? How did you start with the accordion? Exactly. How did you start with the accordion?
I started in my 30s. I played piano since I was a small girl, but in my 30s I had an accordion at home and I thought, I want to learn how to play it. And so I started taking lessons from Helmy Harrington, who was so fortunate enough to live nearby, and just started taking lessons and learned how to play. And it's an awesome instrument.
When you think of the style of music you're playing, do you say accordion and guitar, well, that's perfect instrumentation, or how does that evolve?
I think the pairing of the resonator that I use works really nice with the accordion, particularly, even more so than a regular acoustic guitar, because it really is a very percussive and clanky, it cuts through the mix. So I'm part rhythm, part drummer, part bass lines, part, playing the chords and backing it up. So, and I kind of need to be loud to keep up with an accordion just in rehearsal when we're unplugged, certain acoustic guitars would not stand out over that. So I like the match of the instruments, and it's kind of an interesting pairing, I think.
And both instruments can play so much range, and so put together it just seems like they can do anything.
So when you are setting out a set list or playing a crowd, how do you kind of decide what mix of songs, what styles of songs? Is it a polka? Is it a more melody, sing-along type song?
It depends on the gig, totally. If we're just playing and doing our own thing, it's like, what do you want to play? She'll say something. All right, let's play that. And then, next person gets to pick the next song or something, whatever we're feeling at the moment. But it depends on the show. I mean, we can go into a straight up polka set, or we can go into a straight, instrumental set of maybe more melodic and, musettes and different things like that. Or we can go into plain old crazy kooky songs that we've written, getting kind of a little fun. I don't know. It's a wide variety of directions we can go. So it depends on the show, I suppose.
Tell me about the new recording coming up.
Well, it's called Cabin Fever, and we recorded it on our own, and it was a very leisurely process, and we're surprised that we actually got it done ahead of schedule. Max Molesky did the mixing and mastering for us, and I think he did a great job of it. We had Brian Barber do some fancy artwork, and even a little, he did a music video for us for Perfect Duluth Day, which is awesome too. So I think, 13 or 14 songs?
I think so.
And what kind of styles, what kind of music, and where will I find it?
Well, they're all original songs, so the styles are kind of across the board. It's being printed right now. We should have it next week, but we have a CD release party April 28th. So that's when, starting then, you can start showing up at our shows and pick one up or check our website.
Yeah. You got a www.danceaddictmusic.com. That's the website. And we have Facebook, of course, too. So anytime you want to find out where we're playing, check those. We keep it all up to date. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing the whole thing. Jimmy Cooper, Susie Ludwig, thank you very much for taking the time, and best wishes.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Thanks
for having us.
So this is our last song, and we were happy to play. This song is called, it's the first song I think we wrote, one of the first ones. It's called 20-something. Little 20s thing. Sat down to write a song, I got the words all wrong. Don't know what to say today. Skilly dot dot boom ray. Don't need to preach the word, I guess it's all been heard. You sit there and sing the blues. Bartender, pass the blues. 1, 2, take you where you'll see good times never leave. Always thought the best in life was free. Saddle up, baby, oh, let's ride along. Taking all the pubs in town, hang loose and shake it around. I'm not feeling the blues, got you and nothing to lose. Love you every night and day.